Welcome, Teach Jam fam, to another edition of Jam Talks. And we are really excited to bring the man, Wade King from Get Your Teach On fame. This is going to be an excited episode. We have Get Your Teach On, we have Teach Jam. So it's time that we get our jam on today.
Hey, let's go. Let's do it. Excited to be here. Uh, the Teach Jam conference that I just witnessed and was able to be part of was special, and it's something that I've seen. I guess in the past, yeah, this is 1 year anniversary, right? So, seen it, heard about it. I've got some good friends that were part of it, and I was like, I gotta see what this is all about. So, thank you for allowing me to participate, but then also just being an open arms and understanding, hey, there's a lot of educators out there that need to be served, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of the entire Teach Jam community and the other founders, we really want to say thank you for really just showing up, reaching out, and showing up, especially when we didn't know each other before.
Yeah.
And you said, I wanted to be there, I wanted to jump on stage. So we really thank you for that.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. And I think this was exciting for us because Teach Jam is really focused on urban education,
Hmm.
the people who serve, support, and really elevate Black and Brown children. And a lot of the work that you do, that we see with fans from afar, and it's great to have up close. So when I have the opportunity, now that I have the opportunity to sit down and speak with you, I would really love for you to start with just telling that urban principal,
Yeah.
that urban teacher, like, what does it take to really bring that magic in the classroom that we see in your videos, that we see online, that we see at the Get Your Teach On
Yeah.
conference? What does it take if I'm an educator, if I'm a principal? What does it take?
I mean, that's a loaded question, right? Because as teachers, we and educators, we get exhausted, and it's very easy to burn out. And um, principals know this, administrators, teachers, that they know that if they give all they have, they won't have anything left. But they continue to do that because of the kids, right? And so um, we do a lot of creative things in our classrooms, and how we teach and how we instruct and how we reach kids. And uh, the best piece of advice that I could give principals is exactly kind of what we were talking about earlier. You got to serve your teachers in whatever capacity that you can, so they can best serve their students, and trust your teachers. Your teachers have a classroom full of tiny humans, and I think this transcends anywhere you teach. Kids are kids, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you teach rural district, inner city, whatever. Kids are kids. Um, I had an experience where I had to like really humble myself. It was after I taught at a school, a middle school, inner city Atlanta, and I love music, incorporating music in the classroom, and always have, no matter what. Bring my guitar, all the things, and my students saw that and they tapped in on it as well. And when I left that school, I taught at a school outside of the city of Atlanta. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to show up how I've been showing up for 10 plus years. And I step into that classroom, it was a portable, and I step into that classroom, and the kids didn't receive it. So this was a school, just to keep this in mind. The school that I moved to was a school that the tuition was, or still is, $22,000. Private school, no scholarship. And when I went there, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be easy. This is gonna be a piece of cake. And I really had to sit in it when I got there, because the kids, they weren't receiving what I was putting out. And it was because I wasn't a student of my student. And I had to swallow that pill and be like, this is what I tell teachers to do all the time. Be students of your students. What are they excited about? And I wasn't doing that. Once I started to understand that, I said, okay, the relationships changed, the support changed, and it was because I understood how important it is to see kids and to be present. So going back to what can administrators do in an urban school, trust your teachers, support your teachers, and encourage them to be students of their students. I think that's powerful.
I love it. Let's jump down there and be students of your students. I love that.
Yeah.
if I'm a new teacher, first year,
Mm.
first through three, because sometimes we see teachers. I'm going to be a student of my student. My kids, inner city students, they like rap music.
Right.
I've never listened to rap before, but I'm going to try it, right? So, what advice would you give someone moving into or teaching students that may not look like them or may look like them, but culturally we're
Yeah.
different because maybe our culture, maybe age, and how do I become a student of a student without making a fool out of myself
Correct.
or trying to build that relationship and
Yeah.
pretty much I'm foolish.
No, yeah. And be who you are. Be who you are and own that. Authenticity is so important for kids to see. It doesn't matter how old you are. And so if you are a first year teacher or you are teaching in a different environment, right, than you're used to or you grew up in, it's important that you know who you are and be confident in that. If I'm going to teach at a school to where the students are different than me, their backgrounds are different than me, I'm going to make an effort in whatever time I have during my day to research, to watch TV shows, Spotify, whatever it is. I'll never forget it. I taught 5th grade math and I wasn't connecting with my students. This was in South Carolina. And I just really, really wanted to make that connection with my students. Found out that they watched Hannah Montana. Okay. You remember Hannah Montana back in the day?
Yes.
All right. I'm a high school wrestling coach, like teaching 5th graders. I'm not a person that watches Hannah Montana.
And you actually started to watch Hannah Montana?
I did. So my wife, she lived, her parents lived in between the school that we taught at and then where we lived. So on Fridays after wrestling practice, we would go there, we would eat dinner. Never fail. Just like we're sitting right here. Hope's dad, my father-in-law, sitting in this chair. I'm sitting in this chair right before we eat dinner. I turn on Disney Channel. I watch 2 episodes of Hannah Montana. Not because I love Hannah Montana, but I got to understand what's happening with this. And so showing up at school the next day, I wouldn't be pretending like I'm this super Hannah Montana fan, but at least I can have conversations about it. So I think that goes a long way with students, with kids, with humans, right? With humans, we've got to be intentional about being present and having those conversations, not trying to be someone you're not, but showing up in an authentic way, but do your darndest to be a student of your student in whatever area that may be. So that's what's worked for me. And it's okay if you are corny or silly. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but be who you are. I told you I love music. I'm not going to come in if I'm teaching in an urban school with black and brown kids trying to rap about everything when that's not who I am.
Right.
Now I'll throw Jay-Z Linkin Park on because I love that, right? The school I told you where I taught at outside of Atlanta, Georgia, they had my classroom was full of white kids. I hadn't taught white kids in like 10 years. And so the connection with them was very off. And so I had to go and I had to listen to something that I don't listen to often, which is country music. And I found Dan and Shay on Spotify. You know Dan and Shay?
I do not.
Okay, neither did I. It's fine.
I
But they had
gotta look that up.
they had a song with Justin Bieber, and it was like the most popular song. And so we wrote a song to that, even though that's not my cup of tea, but I still love playing the guitar. So brought in the guitar, my joy, their joy, you mesh it, and just being your authentic self. I think we forget how important that is, but it's also important for kids to see that too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So being a student of your student, but be authentically you as you
Correct.
go into the classroom. I love that. I want to just segue and just let the audience know that I think you probably touched the lives of more teachers than anyone that I've seen. And so I'm pretty sure you hear a lot from them.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they come out to get your teacher on. And they come out. I mean, they come out.
Yeah,
they come out.
They wild and crazy and have a good time. Yes.
Yeah. So with that, there's a reason why they're coming out. You're striking a chord with so many educators in the classroom So, can you help us and help administrators, district leaders, principals,
Mm-hmm.
who these teachers come back to? Why are they coming out to get your teach on? And what are they saying? What do they need
Right.
and from their schools to
Mm-hmm.
make their schools better for them? Because they're going to get your teach on, and
Right.
they're getting a lot of stuff from you. You all are getting something
Mm-hmm.
that keeps them going, keeps them first, gets them to go, and keeps them to come back.
Right.
So, hearing from them, what can administrators, principals, district leaders do to better their workplaces, better their communities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so get your teach on is 50% about the human, but also 50% about the professional. And that's something that we've been very consistent with, and we've held ourselves accountable to that. Um, and doing that or saying that is easy. Doing it actionably is very difficult. Um, the reason why I say that is because exactly like with students, that's our community. We love our community. We love teachers. We love educators. And obviously, Get Your Teach On isn't for everybody, and it shouldn't be. Um, but with Get Your Teach On, we value our community of educators so much that that's the priority. It's the priority to understand what they're going through in life. How can we support them with fill in the blank? But then also, what does that look like professionally? And I mean, it goes into, I mean, if you've seen anything with Get Your Teach On, yes, we have great decor and all these different designs. And I don't design any of that, if you can't tell, because our community isn't white men. Our community is mostly females. Now we're growing, obviously, but even if you look at education, the the percentage and what makes up a teacher in America, I mean, it's very different. And so that's our audience, and we've owned that, and we know that, and so we tap into that. We tap into what they're excited about. What are they wearing? What are they listening to? How can we support you as a human being and a person so you can best serve teachers? And I think it's I mean, I've seen a little bit of the school here, but even the teachers lounge ish, whatever, like this is made for teachers. This is made for the adults who come into this room. And um, with the growth that Get Your Teach On has had, it's been challenging, but we're servants. I mean, we're here to serve, and we're here to figure out what does that look like. And I think that also goes back into the school system too. So it's hard, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it to be able to understand what can directly impact kids through teachers. So
Thank you. Tough question I'm gonna throw at you,
yeah, I'm ready.
because your knowledge base in terms of teachers and what teachers want, what they need, what they care
Mm-hmm.
about, I think is so massive because of the company and the work you do. What are, when you look at the education landscape, what's the one or two areas where you're like, we really need to improve this if we want to move it forward? Like,
Oh,
we really need to improve
in
this
education?
in
Oh
education.
man,
Yes.
that's okay. So Get Your Teach On, Hope and I, we've got a state partnership. So this is our second year working with the state of Indiana, but we also travel and we do professional developments for schools and districts and all the things. So in the past year, continuing, we've been in over 212 schools or classrooms. I'm sorry, 212 classrooms. Um, Working with the state of Indiana has allowed us to be in classrooms more and to see what's actually going on. But not only in Indiana, but we go to California, Florida, Tech, you name it, all around the nation. And to move education forward, we've got to get back to best practices. Now, what do I mean by that? It's simple. And I think we forget, and I'm not blaming COVID, but I am a little bit because, and this is just me being real, like COVID made teachers lazy and forget what's happening and how to do best instruction. Um, we'll go into classrooms where teachers are just sitting behind the desk. And I think it's not intentional, But if you remember, I mean, COVID, you have to be distanced. You don't have that. You don't have that opportunity to be with students. And instructional best practices have been forgotten. Um, Setting a target for what your kids should do with a task to come away with learning, teachers have forgotten it. And that doesn't require fancy instruction or what people see on the outside to get your teach on. It's best instructional practices, and it takes principals. And this is the other component too. And principals have got to be instructional leaders. And
Can you say that again?
Principals, administrators have got to be instructional leaders. That does not mean, though, that you need to know everything about how to teach first grade reading. That's not what that means. It means you have got to know what good teaching looks like and how can we move from here to here to here. A lot of principals right now and administrators are going out there and they just want to be facilitators. Can't facilitate. Now, there's times, obviously, where you have to be that, but the instruction has got to be there. You got to know good instruction when you see it. So basic teaching, best practices. Administrators have got to start learning how to be instructional leaders. Then the other thing is keep good teachers in the game. And I think we're scared that we're going to lose all the teachers because there's a teacher shortage right now. But I'm telling you, man, I mean, if we love on those good teachers and we see them and we shout them from the rooftops and we support each other, ain't no one else supporting teachers like teachers do. But we got to keep the good teachers in. It's not the good ones that are leaving. Or I'm sorry, it is the good ones that are leaving because they're doing everything.
Wow.
It's the bad ones that are staying. So, I mean, I say it like it is. So that's
right, and we appreciate that.
And that's what
Wow.
and that's just what I've seen. So that's just being in classrooms and districts all around the nation. And I'm blessed to be able to have that viewpoint and that insight on just what education looks like right now. But it is a good thing. Teaching is awesome. It's powerful. Sometimes I'll go to schools and I'm beat down. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? What are we going to do? And then I go somewhere else and I'm like, oh, this is what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
So it's in a good spot. Education's never been easy. There's always something that happens, but we just got to keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. So, yeah.
Appreciate that. And I think one thing that I've seen from a distance, and I'm excited to be in up close and personal with Get Your Teach On, is you've made the teacher the rock star.
Yes.
And said, hey, you matter, you're valued, you're noticed, and we're going to amplify the profession and what you do. So my hat's off to you and the whole Get Your Teach On family for doing that, because that's really important. And we've taken a lot from that and saying, like, how do we make the person be the rock star that's in the classroom really doing it and value that. So we appreciate that. I want to share that with you.
Thank you.
And last thing I have for you is Get Your Teach On, such an amazing organization. Can you tell the Teach Jan family what's next?
Oh, what's next with Get Your Teach On?
Yeah.
Okay, so
and Wade King, yeah, what's next?
Oh man, well, I'm definitely a visionary, and you can't tell me nothing from nothing. And so if I feel it in my heart, we're gonna do it. Right now with Get Your Teach On, we do have Las Vegas coming up. So Las Vegas conference is in January at the Westgate Hotel. About 3,000 people will be there in person, talking about just pouring back into our teachers and celebrating them. We're going to have people outside of education come like we always do in our general session room, so our keynote room. So we have a huge general session room where all 3,000 teachers gather together every morning. They break off into grade level bands, so kindergarten all the way through middle school, and get that content that they can take back into their classroom from teacher presenters. So just like Get Your Teach On style, we're celebrating, we're tapping into our audience and seeing what are some people outside of education who would come and support teachers and celebrate them. So in Las Vegas, it is a 2-day conference, or 2.5-day conference, where we are going to have, outside of the education field, we're going to have Ed Milet speaking, to the teachers about
Wow.
leadership and those type of things. We're going to have him. We're going to have Mario Lopez. He's back. So he'll be there with us. Nick Jonas and Danielle Jonas from the Jonas Brothers. He will be there. I'm sorry, Kevin Jonas. Kevin Jonas from the Jonas Brothers and Danielle, they'll be there. We are going to have a prom type thing, but we're calling it a sneaker ball one night with Boys to Men. So Boys to Men is popping in. They'll show up. They're going to play us some music and Gavin DeGraw. So we're going from Boys to Men to Gavin DeGraw because that's our audience. I don't know. So, but it's going to be jam-packed, full of fun. And then this summer, we have our national conference. So that is going to be awesome. About 6,000 people will come again for that one. But other than that, in the meantime, fly out to Indiana State Partnership, working with schools for 2 weeks this coming week. We have PDs all around with Hope and I. So yeah, I mean, get your teach on. We're moving and a grooving and doing the thing. So yeah, yes, sir.
Beautiful. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time with us today. I know the Teach Jam family they're going to eat this up and really appreciate it and really learn from this. So I want to just, again, thank you for coming to the Bronx. We're in the Bronx right now.
We are in the Bronx.
So thank you so much for traveling, seeing us in the Bronx for who we are. Really exciting, and just thank you. So with the last minute, please just look into the camera and send us home.
Yeah. Teachers, Teach Jam, thank you for having me here. It's been incredible. One thing that I would love to just remind teachers and people who serve teachers is you can be passionate about a lot of things, but don't forget your purpose. Purpose is important. Using your passions to fulfill your purpose, that's what it's all about. There's nothing wrong with working hard, but having fun while you do it. So be passionately excited about your purpose.
There it is. Jam family. We'll be back next time. We're out.